all along, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Do my honors to the apostles and elders of the great wisdom that taught us the truth, peace, and salutations to the hopefulness. Shalom.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology.
Wow, nothing sounds better than Israeli grade, but the person you just heard from is Israeli Special Ops veteran Aaron Cohen. Oh, they have special ops. That's interesting. Who plans to launch a mass monitoring of Americans through his AI-powered surveillance system. Isn't that great? Now, he's selling this as a way of preventing mass shootings like the one that just happened in Minnesota, obviously tragic. But if I remember correctly, mass surveillance of the American people hasn't really foiled mass shooters in the past.
Right.
I don't know how using Israeli technology, the Israelis who like to spy on the American people, how is using their technology to do mass surveillance of the American people a good thing? But since this is described as Israeli grade, Fox News anchors are absolutely giddy about it, even though they would probably be condemning it if, say, a country like China were the one, pitching their software to do mass surveillance on Americans on their show. Now, let's get to the rest of Cohen's speech, and then I want to hear your thoughts, Jake.
It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
Wow.
Okay. I have no doubt that this is going to be deployed in an effort to come down hard on any American who's critical of Israel. I think that's the number one thing that they're going to focus on here. I don't think this guy cares at all about Americans getting slaughtered in mass shootings. But the name of this program is Gideon. I just want to give you a few details. In an ad for Gideon, this is a screenshot from it. And so Gideon scans incoming signals across, as you can see, open web, and they list Reddit threads, public forums, blog posts, conspiracy boards, and anything that questions Israel, of course, is considered a conspiracy these days. They also go through the comment sections. Other things they go through, social media, of course. If you're a gamer, and you're messaging through the games that you're playing with others, that's going to be scanned by this. And the indicator patterns they're looking for is grievance buildup, martyrdom language, hate speech plus ideology, tactical prep, target references, suicidal intent, and final post behaviors. A lot of these mass shooters will, post something about how it's going to the end for them or whatever it is before they carry out their, disgusting violent acts that slaughter others before they take their own lives. But Cenk, do you have any faith in this mass surveillance that's being pitched to us? Israeli grade surveillance?
First of all, I agree with Benjamin Franklin. He said those who would give up essential liberty to purchase little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And by the way, they won't get either. And instead what they'll get is Big Brother. I'm thinking of buying a "Don't Tread on Me" flag. I probably could get it cheap off of a right-winger these days because they're like, oh yeah, tread on us. Yeah, military in the streets, I love it. Mass surveillance from Israel on American citizens, I love it. Please, please. So here, I'll give you $1. You give me your "Don't Tread on Me" flag, okay? Obviously, you're not using it anymore. So now, to be fair, some of the Trump supporters are not in favor of getting surveilled by anyone, let alone our government or Israeli government. So the fact that he said it's Israeli grade is code, not for the viewers. The viewers aren't like, oh, great, we're going to have something like the Israelis had in when they, gave people technology like pagers and said, don't worry, trust this. And then they blew them up and killed them with their kids. That's so great. I can't wait for that to come here, right? But in D.C., they do think that. They're like, oh, yes, it's really great. This way we can do what they did in Gaza here. Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Gaza is a bit of a test run. And I don't mean for Israel and Israeli control. I mean for the powerful in this world overall against the powerless. What can we do? What can we get away with? How can we control them? Can we control them completely? And then have the whole world go, yes, sir. Slaughter anyone you like, sir. You surveil anyone you like, sir. We won't object. We won't object. Why? Part of the reason they won't object is because they were already surveilled. Jeffrey Epstein. So no, this is an epic disaster for America.
Well, in case you're hoping for some nightmares tonight, why don't we go to the next clip featuring Cohen describing Gideon in a video from this past June.
This is Palantir for the homeland, for U.S. law enforcement.
Giddy. What? Why? Okay, so let's talk about Palantir, okay? Because, look, let me just be clear about something. So this, there was a deep dive by Wired into Palantir, which does not technically provide new data to its clients about the people that are being surveilled. What they do instead is serve as a tool to rapidly sort through the data that their client already has access to. So anything that you post online, basically, the Palantir technology has a way to basically process it and put it in a nice little package for the government or anyone who's trying to make sense of who they're surveilling, right? So in the case of government and law enforcement clients, there's a lot of data to work with. So here is an excerpt, or a few excerpts actually, from a Wired piece kind of breaking it down. In just minutes, a law enforcement official or government analyst can map out who may be in a person's network and see documents that link them together. They can also centralize everything an agency knows about a person in one place, including their eye color from their driver's license or their license plate from a traffic ticket, making it easy to build a detailed intelligence report. They can also use Gotham to search for a person based on a characteristic like their immigration status, what state they live in, or whether they have tattoos. Now, Palantir built its Gotham program specifically for its police and government clients. Look, as we know, there is a very real effort right now, and I'm sensing it big time with the way things are kind of going on social media sites. There's this very big effort to silence anyone who is critical of Israel. You know, the bots certainly exist. That's nothing new. But the threats have really been amped up. And the statements from government officials in regard to what is and isn't acceptable speech as it pertains to Israel has been ramped up. So, a perfect example, Cenk, is what we pushed back on just last week in regard to all of the reports that came out and the FBI investigation in regard to those 5 Israeli nationals who were seen celebrating as the World Trade towers were being hit on 9/11. People were jumping down my throat at even mentioning that as if it was a totally made up conspiracy. I got a bunch of threats about it. But those reports were real. It was reported on by Fox News. It was also reported on by ABC News at the time, which we showed a clip of. I don't think this is about keeping Americans safe. I think this is about shutting Americans up.
All